Apostle Dr. Kifa Ben Israel coming to you on Sabbath, and a very unusual and rare video that I'm going to be doing. If you looked on tab, whichever way you're looking, you saw me put up truth. Let's talk about truth. Um, if you're watching me on one of the platforms, which is either YouTube Events or YouTube Live. My page, which is on Facebook. Page in Israel. Or you're watching me on Twitter, or you're watching me on Twitch platform. You're watching me on a platform, which I'm hoping and praying that. Um, Let me just cut to the chase. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the world. My whole inner man just broke down because I've recently went through some tremendous things. I'm going to reveal some things that some person that I normally don't talk about, but I just feel the need to express to the entire world. I've had a very difficult relationship with my family for well over 30 some odd years. As much as I try to be the great man of God, and as much as I try to be all the things that I've ascribed to be in this life, I still have lingering demons or phantoms, if you will, that have hovered over me for many, many years. Number one, I have a son whom I never had the opportunity to raise. I went through a tremendous battle with myself and a battle with mental illness. And I went through a tremendous identity crisis within myself. It caused me not to be a father like normal people. I had a daughter in the process. I've lost 2 children because of miscarriage. I wasn't anywhere near, around, or anything like that to experience it, but I've lost 2 children, which is probably one of the hardest things to deal with. I mean, before all of that, I sat and watched my mother deteriorate with bone marrow cancer. Totally helpless to do anything about any of it. Had to deal with it. So I had to deal with death at an early age when I was 11 years old. And then to progress into my life, which was very abusive. I went through a tremendous time of abuse, through my father and different ones, tremendous, from mental to physical abuse. It was incredible. And then to come to this point where I'm at right now, Those of you that really follow me, um, you know that here in the past few months, not just one or two, but the past few months, I've probably been dealing with tremendous physical pain, anxiety that is tremendously off the charts. And God knows what else. I've had, more recently, I've had a very serious surgery to both of my eyes that has rendered me tremendously visually impaired, blind in my right eye, and my left eye is tremendously impaired. You know, I'm barely doing things, and I get all these, the only time that I get any acknowledgement or anything like that is when I talk about my injuries or my pain and my suffering. And you get all kind of people that tell you, "Oh, God's going to heal you." Let me speak to somebody that's just real for a minute. Let me speak to the real people out there. When you go through something and there's nobody there on the other side, and there's no help, all the words of encouragement can come your way, and you still not feel love, care, nothing. Well, I want to talk real. Because when I preach and when I teach, it's coming from my heart, it's coming from my soul, it's everything real. And I sit here and I watch on these social media platforms how people just abuse the platforms, getting people to feel sorry for them, saying things that probably they shouldn't say, but nobody even screens them to say it. Racist remarks, uh, remarks about, they say all kind of things. I've just went through probably the most difficult season ever. And we're about to come up on a holy day, holy feast, a winter feast on September the 18th, the evening of September the 18th. And I don't even have my full vision. I've been diagnosed with kidney failure, been diagnosed with heart failure, and only because of my will and determination not to die am I able to still do all of the things that I do. Not because of some medical miracle or whatever the case may be, but because I just have a never say die attitude. I never quit. Well, I'm at that point in my life. I don't want to quit, but I'm numb. There's a lot of you that's watching me right now that made promises to me, and you didn't come through. I forgave you for it, but it doesn't negate the fact that I'm still in need. And I sat and watched another apostle put a GoFundMe page up and get all kind of help and not even really be in need. I've seen people make requests and the numbers have popped up on, the things, and they just make all kind of requests and false claims and whatever. And people just run to their aid. If anybody knows me, and which there's several people that truly know me from the heart, I've always worked hard. I've always worked hard all my life to do any and everything. And it just really sickens me deep down inside to watch people that claim to love what they say God, and you treat the servants of God like nothing. It wasn't my choice to come into ministry. I never wanted to be an apostle. And they didn't even know what an apostle was or what it is in its totality. Didn't understand what anything was. You know? But I just kept, like a good soldier, just kept fighting and kept pushing and, never gave up. And one of the biggest regrets I've ever had in my life was not being able to raise my two children that are alive, Joshua and Passion. My two children that are alive. Notice what I said, because, I've missed out on that. I don't have a calculated way of saying what I'm saying, no more than just talking truth. I haven't always been this responsible preacher. Not even that right now. Not even that right now. I'm a broken man with a broken body that can barely do anything for himself. That does what he can to just do what needs to be done. I don't think we understand how bad life is until we're broken. Until we're just stripped all the way down to the essence of our soul and can't do nothing about it. I preach and I teach about what the true apostolic is all about. And I don't think there's a lot of you out there that could actually be real apostles, because the brokenness that comes with it, the humiliation, the embarrassment, all the things that come with this walk. All the things that come with this walk. The question that I have a lot of times is it worth it sometimes? I was just told by someone that was supposed to have been close to me that I'm always looking for sympathy. And it's just the opposite. I've never revealed to people what I feel, how I feel. I look at the circumstances in the world with the Black Lives Matter. I look at all of the political issues and things that are happening in the world. I was crying and saying something about the social injustice many, many years ago. The Most High used me to prophesy exactly what was going to happen today about our elections for 2020 back in 2015, 2016. The Most High used me to start something of fellowship, an apostolic and a prophetic fellowship, to help those that want to know truth, that want to walk in truth. All those things, I could go on and on with different things and so on like that. And I've had people stab me in the back. I've had people turn around and walk away from me. I've had people get things from me and then walk away. You say to yourself, Well, that's to be expected when it comes to ministry. It shouldn't be what's to be expected. It shouldn't be. We should never have to deal with the degradation of humiliation and embarrassment and all those different things. I mean, heck, I guess I'm like Jeremiah right now. Why are the wicked being blessed? Why are the ones that don't even care about your soul, that don't even do study for you, that don't even labor for you, why are they exalted like they're exalted? I use my own money to finance ministry. I'm pretty sure a lot of you do the same thing. You know, it's just a very difficult time. COVID-19 is going on, this is going on, that's going on. It's one thing after another. And I'm speaking to the person that's not so spiritual, that's been broken and that's going through just like I'm going through. And I'm letting you know, man, I know how you feel. I know how you feel. I have been where you're at. I'm dealing with it now. I woke up, you know, not able to see straight to walk to the bathroom. I don't know anything else to do but to come to you guys and talk to you. I mean, in a very rare video that I don't even do as much because I'm so calculated with my teaching schedule and all these things. But right now, I just feel like I want to talk and I want to tell truth. Walking, I barely even, I mean, my from my bedroom to my bathroom is less than 500 feet, less than that. And every morning I wake up now, I barely can make that walk. I barely can make that walk. I look on my stove, and when I try to warm up food or something like that, I have to have it inches from my face to even see what it is or to know what it is. I've been sick before, and I've been hurt before, but I've never been in a state where I'm at right now. Totally and absolutely helpless. Where I physically have to depend on other people every day. I don't think people understand how that feels unless you have to deal with it. I hope there's somebody watching me right now that knows how this feels. And I'm not feeling sorry for myself. Heaven forbid I do that. It's the part where you're doing it all by yourself. It changes the perspective of the way you think and the way you feel. It changes your hope drive about people. When I watch other people and they spend time with their family, I ask the question is, where's mine? What have I done so bad that nobody, and I mean nobody, even wants to look at me, let alone talk to me? What have I done so bad? That's what I keep saying to myself. And then when I look at the definition of an apostle, it hurts. All you ones that want to be glamorous and want to be so great, there's a price that you can't even imagine that you have to pay. There's a reality that you have to face. And sometimes it's the backdrop of your own failures that you have to face. And still stand and be a vessel used by the Most High. You know, you don't even feel worthy. You can't imagine why He chose you, and you so broken. You're so flawed and so many mistakes. You're not even capable of maintaining I can't even walk to my bathroom without having to pick up a stick or something to be able to feel where I'm at. Yeah, I'm praying that I get healed. I'm praying that He restore my strength and all those things, you know. But while you're in the moment, you try to do the best you can. And it seems like the best is not good enough. I say to all of y'all that got spouses and you got family, cherish what you have, because when it's not there, you feel it, and you feel every minute of it. I've never wanted to be a bother to anybody, and that's probably my fault. I've never reached out to people and said, hey, look, man, I need some help, because I already, you know, a lot of people already knew what I was dealing with, so I didn't think I had to actually open my mouth and reach out and do certain things, you know. But something as simple as waking up and then having to do the best you can just to go to the bathroom. I watched my mother have to do that, and I watched her deteriorate. But we were there, you know, my brothers, my sisters, you know, my sister, my older sister, and my two younger brothers. We were there, you know, with her. You know, deservedly so. We were there with her. She didn't have to go through it alone. I, I understand now what the Apostle Paul was talking about, saying, you know, in 1 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, when he said that we the apostles are likened unto the scum of the earth, because it's exactly how it feels, because there's absolutely no one there. And you've got to continue to fight to even put on a face every single day. You've got to continue to show your knowledge and show forth your wisdom and the abilities, you know, all the spiritual giftings and stuff like that, even when nobody's there. When you ain't got but one person to preach to, you might not even have a one person or even two people, you know, paying a tithe. And you've got to run an entire ministry on blind faith and then still have to walk in the shoes of excellence. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is real talk. It's real truth. It ain't always about fighting demons, you know. Some of the demons are right there in your face. They call themselves friends. Some of those demons right there beside you, they call themselves family. Some of those demons are right in your bed and they call themselves a wife or a husband. But you have to turn around and be all that you know. This walk is not easy. It is not so great. I've preached to thousands of people. I've pastored hundreds and thousands of people. I've been able to be in important places with important people, but at the end of the day, it's about the tolerance of yourself, the deliverance of oneself, the ability to cope through difficult situations when nobody is there. I've sat and watched some of you guys just go on and be happy and do things that's great. And then I'm cursed to suffer. I really understand. I truly understand what the Apostle Paul was saying. He said, you know, you guys are exalted. We talk junk about. You get things and we have to suffer. We have to exclaim and all these different things. I truly get it. I would not wish this stuff on my worst enemy. That's just what kind of heart I got. I got an open heart, a kind heart. I don't want nobody to suffer. But at the same time, I understand that life goes on and business goes on. You know, you can't just stop because of one circumstance or situation. Um, you know, this is the Sabbath weekend. This is Saturday, and if I have a difficult situation, I can't just, you know, depend on anybody. I have to go to the emergency room. I have to depend on my doctors. I have to. It's my only release. It's my only outlet. It's the people that work on my body, the people that have operated on me, the people that are taking care of me in my medical need. I'm hurt today because sometimes I feel like I haven't done enough to even muster love. And it's not about being tough or anything. Everybody needs love. Everybody needs care. Everybody needs concern. I've got a daughter, wherever she's at, that doesn't know me, that I never had a chance to even try to raise. I never had that opportunity. I got a son that I tried to do what I could to be in his life, but obviously I failed. I've got an entire family that is ashamed to call me family. I got to keep it real, man. A lot of you probably putting up stuff, I don't know, and probably saying, oh, everything's going to be all right, man. But it's easy to have words come out. And it's easy for words to be told to you over and over again that it's going to be okay, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. But then it's another thing to show action. It's another thing to put your money where your mouth is, put your actions into play. I've been chosen and I'm sold out to the purpose of the kingdom and purpose to Messiah, to Mashiach. So I have no other choice but to continue to go forward with the gospel no matter what. That part. Got to keep pushing. Got to keep fighting. You got to keep teaching. You got to keep on training people, even if it means you sacrificing yourself. Man, it's so many things I'm just seeing, spiritually that sacrifice, that word sacrifice, it means a lot. It didn't before because I didn't quite understand it. I was still learning. I was still in my process, trying to channel all these things, and took me to go through some serious surgeries. It took me to go through some serious life-changing situations for me to really understand that you might not get to the mountaintop. Moses didn't see the promised land. What do you do when your destiny stops at the top of the mountain and you just look down and you can see the blessing, but you'll never be in the blessing? I'm not saying that that's what I've seen. I'm not saying that I'm not going to make it. What I'm saying is that what happens when it gets to that point, and it is that. See, we always want to fight against our destinies. And we sit here and we talk that noise and we say God's going to avenge me and all this other stuff. I don't know that. I don't know that. I just know that what is in my presence right now I have to deal with. And this morning, it just all came to a head when I couldn't even barely make it less than 500 feet to a bathroom. There's some people that can't even make it at all without any assistance whatsoever. I'm here to apologize to all all those people that are going through that stuff because, man, I totally understand what you guys are going through. And then the fight that you got to put on every single day just to make it, just to pick up a glass of water and put it to your lips. Yeah, I know what that's like, man. To not be able to maneuver. You know, it's a miracle that I can even move some of this equipment around and do things. I'm just so glad that I got things set up the way I got it set up so that I'm able to maneuver because, you know, and all of this was done simultaneously in the spirit before I physically was going to go through what I was going through. When I was able to physically to do things, I was maneuvering things into positions so that I could understand. And I didn't understand, but I get it now. Let me tell somebody out there, sometimes you have to go at it alone to be taken seriously. Sometimes you just got to fight through pain and say, you know, truth be told, you don't even really understand what it's all about until you're alone. Until you're fighting a fight where no one else cares. And then your friends, your so-called friends, ministry friends, your brothers and your sisters, and all these people that claim, and you know, in our community, in the Hebrew community, we always want to holler Ak and Akati. You know, we love using those words because we know nobody else understands them. And we just throw them out there as free literature. And, you know, we look at the other folks as if they don't know anything. We don't even mess with them because they're not speaking our language. Hell, you're only speaking a language because somebody taught you a couple of words. You got a dictionary and now you got a lease on everything. So now you think you understand something. You're still fake. You're still phony. Because if it came down to it and you really had to do something about it for your brother or your sister, you wouldn't do it. And to the Christian people that think that they're super spiritual and got it going on and they prophesy to the whole world, and once you get a blessing, you get one simple blessing or two simple blessings, you can't reach out to your brothers or sisters. Not, you know, that's one of the reasons I like to talk to people directly on the telephone. I really don't like going through messages and all this other stuff. I like to talk to people directly because I can feel them and feel their sincerity. But I know for a fact that there's a lot of people that don't care. They put on a show. They just want to put up a Facebook post, or they want to go on Twitter and make a phrase, or they want to go on a video outlet like Twitch and make a video and they want to be seen and all this other stuff. But they can't privately come to you and talk to you because that's just not in their repertoire. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I've had a lot of females tell me, oh, well, these men try to talk to me and this and that. You mean to tell me you don't have discernment to see the sincerity in the spiritual motion that I make? That you got to turn me away because of somebody else's folly? especially in my time of need. I watch you be blessed. Why can't you just say, hey, brother, reach out? You know, I got Apostle Timothy Shockley Sr. I just seen him. He's been a real brother. At least he ain't fake about it. At least he's not running around here trying to badmouth me and then talk to me at the same time. You know, it's so much on this. You know, and then we get to the Black Lives Matter thing and so on like that. You know, what Black Lives Matter need to matter to black people. There's a lot of us in need. A lot of us sitting back here need some love and support. We don't even care about anything else. Just love and support, and we can't even get that, honestly. But we can get people to show up at a rally, get on a platform and talk all day and all night when the real platform doesn't even have a television camera, doesn't even have a screen or anything like that. That real platform is a platform of somebody's heart to touch someone that's in need, somebody that can't even do nothing for themselves. Go out and help those people. You want a platform so bad. I'm speaking to the Hebrew Israelite and the Christian. I'm speaking to everybody. There's so many battles and wars that are going on, and everybody wants to be right. Nobody wants to be wrong. Nobody wants to be called out on their bull, on their BS. It's going to be nice and not use vulgar language, but it's incredible. My heart is heavy. My heart is just torn apart. And my thing is, if I've been doing it by myself all this time, then why don't I just continue to do it by myself? But unfortunately, that's not the way the world works. That's not the way that the Most High has set us up to be. We are creatures of habit, and we depend on each other to survive. Unfortunately, what I would love to say, I can't say because I would have to come back and repent, because somebody's going to come through and then it's going to be like, I'm going to have to apologize for that. So I'm not going to go that route, but I will say this much, is that the selfish people in the gospel are very wide and broad and vast. And they're very real. They're very real. They hate. Then they come back and they say, oh, I'm your friend. As a leader, I've had so many people just do so many things and then have the nerve to come in my face and act like nothing ever happened. Sad, man. I've been married on multiple occasions. Nothing I'm proud of. It's not a badge of honor to say you've been married more than once or twice. That's just an embarrassment. As to the choice of people, I've had some women that would not worth the salt of this earth. Literally were no good. That's why they're not sitting here with me now. And not one of them reached out to me since I've had my major sicknesses and stuff like that. Not one. Why? Because I didn't give them what they wanted in the first place. Two, because I'm just not going to be that puppy that's going to be kissing. I don't care how down I get or how circumstances may get for me. I would never, and I say this continuously, I would never kiss anyone's behind. Never. I would die fighting, standing on my own 2 feet, homeless and hungry, before I kiss somebody's behind. It's amazing. It's amazing the people that stand with you when you're doing good. Well, I'm speaking indirectly to a all my Hebrew brothers and sisters and to all the Christian brothers and sisters, because there's really not a difference between any of you. You're battling over words and languages, and you're battling over circumstances and situations, but you all have one thing in common, and that is pompous vain. Because when you really need it, you can't put down your differences for 2 minutes. I've been trying to raise money for this ministry and do different things, and I never cried about it one day when I didn't receive a dime. I never let any of you know when I was in need. But if you were in need, and if you ever needed something, you knew that you could call on the chief apostle for whatever reason. And I would try to do the best I can. I'm just being real with you. I've met more fake and phony people in the gospel than I've met in the street. My little street boys right now have been protecting me ever since they knew that I was impaired. They've been protecting me. And it's just been great because I couldn't depend on my so-called spiritual brethren and sisters. Couldn't depend on none of them. And then other people that have agendas. Yeah, I know some people want me to stop saying what I'm saying, but I'm not going to shut up. I'm not going to sit here and shut up because it's the truth. Truth hurts. Don't listen. Sick of it. You know, you put and you pour out and you pour out and you pour out and pour out, and what do you get back in return? The opposite of what's good. I'm not going to sit here and say people pray for me because I'm going to keep on teaching and I'm going to keep on preaching as long as I got breath in my body. That's never going to stop. But what's going to stop is my trust level. I don't trust any of you. I've trusted you. And look at where that's got me. In an empty place, all by myself, fighting a fight that is impossible to fight alone, but I'm doing it. I'm fighting it all by myself. So when the miracle does happen, I don't want nobody sitting there taking no credit about what they prophesied to me about. If you can't be happy just because you're happy, you want to take credit, then I discredit you right now. Because this is real. This is real life. This is not just some plug or some public service announcement for Facebook and Twitter and whatever else. No, this is a real talk from a real human being that really has feelings, that's been hurt, that's going through this, working hard to do the right thing. And I ain't always done the right thing. My family is evidence of that. My children are evidence of that. None of you want to be bothered with me because of whatever reason. And if whatever that reason is, if you're justified by it, bon appetit. You want to hurt me? You want to sit here and watch me grovel to the ground? Well, you've got your opportunity. You've got your opportunity. I'm a broken man right now. I'm a broken man. If this is what you want, congratulations. But as soon as I get up, I would advise you to get out of my way. Because as soon as I get up, you really are not going to like me. You didn't like me before, you're not going to like me now. If you didn't like what I was talking about before, you're really not going to like what I'm talking about now. I say to the Most High on this day, hallelujah. I'm not ashamed of the direction that I went in. I'm not ashamed that I have decided to walk in truth. I'm not ashamed that nobody's walking with me. Because if I got to do it by myself, I will. Let me get out y'all face. Because, you know, so either you listen to me or you don't. Either you care or you don't. It's just that simple.